What's up, guys? I'm back on YouTube. Gonna start making videos again. Figured I'd start out with an update here. A little walk around video of my Kodiak 2016 Kodiak 700 EPS. It's not exactly stock, if didn't figure that one out yet. So this is their 708 motor, the 16 to 18 motor, before they went back to the old 686. Mine's got, don't remember the mileage, it's quite a few. It's got 3,600 miles on it. With my dash setup while we're over here. I mounted mine down in this box when I installed the Trail Tech because I just needed somewhere to put it, and then, looks pretty cool there, I thought. So 3,600 miles, but got about 100 on my new Wiseco 11-to-1 high compression piston and rings that I've got in there. Just did that work this winter. Ready to rip this year. Yeah, so other performance mods in it. I guess we can go to the clutching. I've got JBS hot rod milled primary sheave in there with their overdrive 16-gram weights and a purple spring. So she hits pretty hard. And then exhaust, I've got an HMF Swamp XL, which unfortunately had a bit of a mishap. Apparently if you don't Loctite that bolt, it'll fall off, and then your exhaust falls off. So I recommend Loctite on just about everything on these machines. If you ride them anything like I do, stuff comes loose. It's just what happens, I guess. If we go into this box here, I keep my fuel tuner in here in a Pelican 1010 box. Keep it waterproof and make sure it doesn't get smashed or anything. I've got an EHS fuel tuner because I also have, I know I didn't go with the Barker's exhaust. I have the EHS. I have the HMF Swamp XL, but I did go with an EHS airbox lid for this pre-filter, which sucks a ton of air through that. Makes a lot of power from that. And then I have the Uni air filter with the EHS airbox. Deletes the cover up here. Has this aluminum piece that is bolted onto here, and instead of in the stock factory setup where you have that boot that comes out into your airbox like that far, this bolts on right here. So instead of that air having to go around the boot and then in, your air can all just flow straight in, and it just takes out a lot of drag there, makes a lot more power. Up here I have an N2 deep radiator relocate. I've painted mine with bed liner because I had a bit of a mishap. Rolled my machine last year, did a pretty good one, and this took the brunt of it. That smashed right down on the ground, bent it down, bent my rack up, bent this down about an inch. I just took a pry bar and bent it back up. That's why I went with N2 deep. Quality stuff, not like a wild boar, not gonna explode when you hit the ground. And then I've got an oversized aluminum radiator in there. Very, very beautiful radiator. It's just awesome looking. I mean, you can't beat that. I blew up 3 OEM radiators, not by any particular reason. They just popped holes because they're not actually welded together. They're just crunched. They're just crunched on the edges. So those break, apparently. On the front end here, I have a 2,500 pound, I think it's a Badlands winch. Not a Warn, but it gets the job done. It's not a mud bike, so I don't really get stuck. It's just kind of a just in case thing. I have a Warn Epic winch hook, the best winch hook you can buy. They're way, way better than any other hook on the market, in my opinion. I've got synthetic winch rope because I don't like the cable. It's just a pain to work with, and then a KFI stop for it. Kind of need one of those. A little more up front here, I do have horns back in there. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, right in there. I have 2 horns. I gotta replace those because this style, I can't see it through there, but this style gets full of mud and they just, after that, it's done. I wired it up to a button here. Yeah, really weak at this point. They used to be way better. I'm gonna replace them with ones where the compressor is on a hose so you can run it up and mount it out of the way, because that did not work. Those little snail horns did not hold up to tall pines, so gonna have to go with something else there. I have a lot of Rock Speed FX parts on this bike. I got their 5-inch grizzly risers with their oversized foot pegs. They are awesome if that's what you like. If you want tall bars, you stand up and ride a lot, they're gonna work great for you. If you like your feet to be planted and not slip at all, then you're gonna love those foot pegs. They're just beefy things. They're sweet. Then for bars, I'm running some red Pro Tapers with ODI lock-on grips with the red accents. Pretty sweet setup. No complaints there. And then I've got my Pro Armor kill switch tether. So when I fall off, kills the bike. When you ride like you stole it, I would recommend one of those. Then if your throttle gets pinned, if you've done any motor modifications, I mean, this motor's, I wouldn't say it's built, really. It's just got that piston in it, so it's not stock, but not really fully built yet, at least. And if you don't want your throttle getting pinned and your bike running upside down, you don't need that happening. So it's a good thing to have that. For tires and rims, I'm running stock size 25 by 8 by 12s and 25 by 10 by 12s on the rear. These are ITP Hurricanes wrapped with some Sedona ripsaws. They're a super mean tire. They're really heavy though. It's the one downside. They wear out your knuckle bushings in the rear, but the tread is just, I mean, it's there. A lot of tread, doesn't wear, very hard. Good for hard pack and trails. And that's all I ride, so works good for me. I might get something lighter for a drag race setup for my 400 foot time, because they do weigh quite a bit. So with the overall look of this bike, I went for a bit of a sporty look. I know it's a utility 4x4, but I mean, I think it looks pretty sporty at this point. I changed up the rear rack. As you can see, it's more of just a wheelie bar now. Keep this thing from flipping over on me. I also ran these out still so that it would support these rear fenders, because for a while I was running it with just no rear rack, and yeah, the rear fender did not like that very much. It would get packed full of mud and then I'd look like a bird trying to take off. Did not look very good. And now I'm gonna have to blur out my license plate. Can't have you guys stalking me, you know? Then I've got all these stickers, my own custom big red Tear of Tall Pine stickers. I've got that on shirts and stickers. They're not for sale yet, but they will be soon. And if you haven't, you should go check out my Instagram. I'm more on there than I am on YouTube. Just starting to get into YouTube again. Just got my new computer, so I'm gonna start editing, doing that again, see where that goes. But yeah, check out my Instagram, the_big_red_Kodiak. Post daily on there. But yeah, back to this bike, the important things. Stickers, very important. They may not directly add horsepower, but they all correspond with some part. My HMF, my JVS sheave. I don't remember what that Muddy Rotors was. That might have been axles. I don't really know. Big Red, HMF, rocks, all of those. But yeah, give her a little cold start here for you guys. We're only at 63 degrees, so fire's right up. It's not too loud, but it's definitely not quiet. I think the HMF Swamp XL is the loudest exhaust you can get from HMF for this bike. So she roars pretty good. Don't want to rev it up too much, gotta let her warm up, you know. Okay, well, I think we're about to the end of this, but one last thing. I do have some Elka Stage 3 clicker shocks on the way for this beast. So, that should change the ride quality dramatically. I can't wait. I might make a video on those once they get here. We'll see. But yeah, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you want. Tell me if you want anything more in depth about her.